Hi, welcome to Classic Car Cave. Unfortunately, again, it won't be anything on cars because I'm still feeling pretty bad. It kind of goes up and down. One day I'm feeling a bit better, then a couple of hours later back down again. Anyway, I'm obviously bored shitless because I've not been in the garage getting on with what I want to get on with, and I've been apart from going in and out and getting some sleep and unfortunately now. All my body clock is completely screwed up because I'm staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning and getting up in the morning to walk the dog and go back to bed, and you know how these things are. But this is the longest I can ever remember being so ill with flu, basic flu. Anyway, so I've had a lot of chance to sit and look at videos and just kind of keep myself amused, and something came up which I thought I've got to comment on this. So I'm basically just making a video up, but I think it's quite quite a topic now that seems to be everybody seems to be talking about this quite a lot, and it's about this reality and virtual reality. And I wanted to put this clip up. I hope that I'll probably get a copyright strike, but it doesn't matter because I don't monetize the videos anyway. But I just wanted to I'll put this little video up, this little clip up, which is from a Monty Python's film called Life of Brian. It was in '79. It was just as I was coming out of the Marines. I remember it coming out. Brilliant movie, and basically taking the piss out of organised religion and, well, the whole system basically, the ridiculousness of some things. And they did some things in this, which was done in '79, and it was so extreme, it was so ridiculous that we thought, oh, this is why it was so funny. But in actual fact, what's happened is actually come into reality now. Crazy as that might seem. So I'll pop this little bit of video up. It's not particularly good because I've had to take it from my computer screen to make it work because I'm not very good at technology. But have a look at this, and when you come back, I'll go over a couple of things which it's synonymous with this. Anyway, it's only a little clip. I hope you enjoy it.
From now on, I want you all to call me Loretta. What? It's my right as a man.
Well, why do you want to be Loretta, Stan?
I want to have babies.
You want to have babies?
It's every man's right to have babies if he wants them.
But you can't have babies.
Don't you oppress me.
I'm not pressing you, Stan. I've got a womb. Where's the fetus going to gestate? You're going to keep it in a box?
Here, I've got an idea. Suppose you agree that you can't actually have babies, not having a womb, which is nobody's fault, not even the Roland, but that you can have the right to have babies.
Good idea, Judith. We shall fight the oppressors for your right to have babies, brother. Sister, sorry.
What's the point?
What?
What's the point of fighting for his right to have babies when he can't have babies?
It is symbolic of our struggle against oppression. Symbolic of this struggle against reality.
I think it's a brilliant piece of film, and it's so ridiculous. Well, it certainly was at that time that somebody could come away with that, because there was many jokes in this Monty Python's this Life of Brian that was, you know, they blamed the Romans for everything, and then they had the other guy who was from, was it the People's Popular Front or whatever. They had all these made up names, but how weird is it that they were doing this stuff for comedy effect, and now it's reality. Unfortunately, reality, I say reality. Going on to that, this is what I wanted to say is that I don't understand why the generation now, the younger generation now, would rather live in virtual reality, with literally virtual reality goggles and all that kind of stuff, or watch things on YouTube or TV or whatever, that is fantasy. I mean, we have so much more, I mean, these fantasy comics, for instance, and now they're all, you know, we had Superman years ago and stuff like that, but it's inundated with fantasy characters now. The whole of the movie industry, X-Men and this and that, and, you know, I mean, I used to like a bit of space drama and that kind of stuff, but, you know, a bit of sci-fi, whatever, but it's so extreme now, and I think it's got to a point where people, I don't know whether it's because the younger generation are so disappointed with their lives, where they are, where they're going, where they're not going. You know, we have these so-called very well-educated people who are all fighting for jobs because there aren't that many jobs around, and they're obviously disappointed. And I suppose the only thing I can think is they they are like this, or they crave for this virtual reality because their own life is shit, or it's not what it turned out, what they thought it was going to be. Lots of promises. You know, going and getting a degree these days means nothing. It had some prestige to it 20, 30 years ago, but it certainly doesn't now. You know, the standard joke with, you know, a guy who's got a degree in art is, or psychology is, as you know, what's the first thing somebody with a psychology degree says? You know, do you want fries with that? It's a joke, but unfortunately this is the reality of it. And I think this is why people watch a lot of these YouTube videos or shows about supercars and this, that and the next thing. The other thing I've noticed about this as well is, and I don't know if you've noticed it, but this YouTube situation, I've talked a lot about YouTube, but it's amazing how many YouTube sites have got very, very big quite quickly, some not so quickly, but when they have cross interviews, they only talk to other people with somebody with the same viewership that they've got, or the same amount of subscriptions. They never bring anybody in that's small, a minnow or a small channel, to try and bring them up or help them or whatever. They'll always go. I've seen it just the other day. There's a guy called Matt Armstrong who's a very clever young guy. From what I can see, he's worked extremely hard, and really good luck to him. He's got a massive following on a car channel. I think it's probably one of the biggest I know of on YouTube. A chap from Birmingham, but he's doing supercars, but he does go through it, and he presents it extremely well. But even people like the smallest cog from Richard Hammond are interviewing him and this other guy, Shmee, whatever. Now, I'm not particularly into supercars, it's not my deal, but you know, they're there. But the following is absolutely massive. Whereas if somebody else is putting out something where they're trying to show somebody how they can get to that point, i.e. get an old car, even if it might be a supercar, but you can make it up to that point, which this Matt Armstrong is doing, I have to say, because they are salvage cars, but very high end. But then you get other channels where people are trying to show something, okay, you can start off with this and move on to this and move on to that. They just don't seem to be interested in. So time scale, just, you know, it's instant gratification. You know, I want it now, but I don't want to do anything for it. So while we were all, not we, I mean generally, while people were making careers for themselves, while they were having families, mortgages, doing this, doing that, trying to get better on in their job, trying to get promoted, more money, which I'm not saying is the be all and end all, it's not. But the bottom line is we just didn't have time to get involved with these things. This is why I believe this is where we're at now. I think there was a void, you know, for 20, 30 years where people are so busy with their lives that this other stuff just went past them. And now we're in a situation where, you know, minorities are telling us what to do. But please don't be fooled by that. I'm not teaching anybody to suck eggs here, and I'm sure you're all aware. A lot of this stuff is put out in the media to keep us away from the real issues and the real problems that's being shoved under. A lot of this is smoke and mirrors. You know, this gender thing, yes, it's there, but they'd rather push that and you get angry about that in the pub or with your friends on WhatsApp than actually talk about the real things that are going wrong with the world or going wrong with our countries or with the governments that we have. And there's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on here. Flag waving, so just an expression. So what I'm saying is we live in the real world. This is real. This is not, you know, it's like this, you know, life after death. If you believe in it, great, okay. And if you don't, you don't. But we've got a situation where people are harping after something that they're never going to get. They're never going to achieve. You should have a goal. But why they have to go to this fantasy end in their lives at this young time is beyond me. I don't know, maybe because there's no job satisfaction, maybe because they don't see a career in it. I mean, you know, people nowadays change their job, you know, 15, 20, possibly more, 25, 30 times in a lifetime now. And that never happened before. There were people that were career moves and they went to different jobs, but you know, having multiple jobs, it just didn't happen. I'm not blaming the younger generation for that. Employers have got a lot to answer for on that side as well. But people tend to jump backwards and forwards now all the time. You know, people don't stay in a career or try and get themselves further up the ladder. They just seem to jump from one job to another and, oh, that's paying £5 an hour more or £2 an hour more, and they look at that and not a career path. But anyway, these are just some of my thoughts. I thought I'd put them up. Hopefully next couple of days I'm going to be back in the garage. My wife's coming on Thursday, so I really need to buck myself up, and I'm feeling better, just not quite right to get in there. And so the next one, I promise you, will be on the cars or the projects that I'm doing. But I just thought I'd put this in as a filler. Let me know what you think. Anyway, take care and all the best, and be good to each other, or as nice as you can. It's better to be nice, or it's better to be kind or say nothing at all. I guess that's the answer at the end of the day. Take care.